what's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Friday night again. What are you listening to? We're back again. Episode 136. Who'd have thought 2 years ago we'll be on like episode 136? It's wild, right? When you think we can make it to 150? What do you reckon? 150?
For sure.
No doubt.
200?
Like
200 maybe. Let's see how it goes. It's going to be a great show. Daniel's back. Dan's back. Eric's here for the first time. Thanks for coming on, Eric. It's great to meet everyone. Great to see everyone again. As usual, we've got 5 records. Awesome. Maybe a couple more. We're going to sneak in and have a great time talking about. It's going to be 2 hours respite and enjoyment from quite an unpleasant world that we're living in right now. So let's forget about that for a couple of hours and have a good time talking about nerding out over some great records that we've got and that we want to talk about. Let's do the old housekeeping. Where's that? There it is. As usual, like us, subscribe to us, help us out. Cheers. Doesn't cost anything. I think it's free, right? To watch, I think. Right, there we go. All right, like I said, as usual, we've got 5 records each. We're going to have a great time talking about. I've actually, I feel like it's been a while since I've had a stack of new records to talk about. And not only did I have a stack of new records to talk about, but then I got another stack of new records to talk about, which I'm going to save for like next week or the week after. So I was kind of overwhelmed at the last minute with new records. It's been a while, I think, since I had some new records coming. All right, enough of my yammering. Shall we get going? Let's get started. Cheers.
Cheers.
Like I said, I've got some new records. I've been thinking this all week. Actually, I'm thinking, you know what? This record is not the job for me. We need like an expert who knows more about this genre and this band than I do. But I'm going to give it my best shot. I do like this band a lot. They've been around for 25 years, which blows my mind. And the title of the record tells us they've been around for 25 years because it's called 25. It's just come out on Agipunk Records. They're usually in black and white. This time they're kind of in color. Who's he talking about? Portland PDX. Talking about the new Hellshock LP, mini LP, which came out on Black Conflict on CD, I think, first. And then a couple of months later, Agipunk put it out on vinyl. Limited to 500, is that where we are now? But kind of big band like Hellshock is, only 500. But anyway, what's going on with Hellshock? I'm getting some funny noises from somewhere. Yes, I had to go back and look at my collection to sort of see what other Hellshock records I had, because I'd kind of forgotten. I have the first album, and I have the album that came out 3 years ago, which I really liked when it came out. That's like the self-titled LP from 3 years ago. I feel like there's been some changes going on. Todd Burdett is in the band now. The Todd Burdett, and I'm wondering how much of a hand he had in the songwriting on this record. I'm thinking quite a bit. I know there's some stylistic shifts on this record, and the bolt thrower worship is kind of still there. It's kind of slower than I remember Hellshock being. There's not as many like raw riffs as I remember Hellshock having. It's kind of denser, like a smoother, like big, shinier, like metal production. I was even thinking it sounds a little bit like Dark Throne, like in like more recent Dark Throne, here and there, like touches. Okay. I don't know, like more like Death Doomy to me. Okay. I think it's really good. It doesn't really like leap out at you, on first or second listens. But I like it. It's like really atmospheric, heavy, dark, and I really think that Todd Burdett had a big hand in the songwriting, because it is reminding a little bit of like Nightfell, that kind of Death Doom band that he has. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely some of that in there. But yeah. Is this crust? Is it like beyond crust? I know. I think if you saw this in a record shop and you didn't know who Hellshock were, and you bought this record, I don't think you would think it was a crust record. It's kind of metal, I want to say.
Based on the cover, I feel like subversive right adjacent almost, like kind of like a like UK82 with some like metal riffs thrown in, type thrashy type shit.
Yes, it's almost like it's like a European like metal record. Could be, I don't know. That's what it looks like, and I think the sound of the record does kind of match the cover. I like Hellshock. I have a bit of a story about Hellshock. They came to Japan like 20 years ago. I think it was about 20 years ago, and they were lucky. They must have come in November or October, because once a year here in Osaka we have an outdoor like gig, like an all-day gig, free in this massive public park. And the stage is an amphitheater. It's a massive stage run by the local government, with like this kind of amphitheater and a huge open area with like grass banks. And it's organized by people like connected with Warhead and Nightmare. So usually you get like 5 or so hardcore bands, and then some like folk bands, some psychedelic bands, and it's a good day out. And Hellshock got lucky because they were here and they played on that massive stage. And they played, I remember it was like one of those moments. They were playing and the sun was just coming down, like behind the amphitheater. The sun was setting, like Hellshock were just going into one of their anthems. Like I thought the singer had the Amy from Nausea pose like going on, and it was just one of those like moments where like, this is kind of making me like Hellshock maybe more than I would like another kind of crusty metal band. Just a moment of greatness. And it was just great that they got that chance to play on this like massive stage in this like amphitheater with like 50 people like watching. Yeah,
that's a fairly large crowd for certain purposes.
Well, it's weird. This event, it's like it's in this massive place, like this massive like theater, like I said, amphitheater, and like the audience is kind of always pretty small, but they don't care. They just keep like doing it every year, and it's awesome. Yeah, they're doing it again, like in a couple of weeks. Warhead playing Order. Remember Order, band from Nagoya? They're playing too. A bunch of other bands. So I'm probably going to go this year. So anyway, enough about Bone Soup Circus, the event. Hellshock, the new mini LP on Agipunk.
I don't think I own any Hellshock. Like, I mean, I've definitely heard it, and at some point had a CD or something or other. But what do you think's like a good entry point for that band?
Like I would always say with any band, like start at the beginning. I know what you want. You need is the singles collection CD on HD Fact. That's the one for you.
I'll start hunting that down.
All right. I think that's been 25 years blew my mind too. So I've been around for 25 years. That's crazy to me.
Does it make you feel weird though, knowing that 25 years ago was the year 2000? Like that doesn't feel far enough away.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
With my head.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I'm 58, and it just seems weird that Hellshock have been around for that much of my life. Like, it doesn't feel like that. All right. That's my first pick. All right, Daniel, what you got?
Yeah. So up first, to kind of stay in the kind of dark, heavy stuff, and also new releases.
Nice.
I have Fister, Graceless. This is their newest record. Fister is out of St. Louis. In my estimation, in terms of bands that do that, like really punishing, slow sludge, nothing comes close to Fister. And it's been a few years since they've done a full record. They did a covers record that is excellent a little bit ago, but it's their first like full record in a while, and it's fucking amazing. It's one of those things where like it's not that line to where like it gets too droney and too slow and you just kind of get lost in a song type thing. They don't do that. They give you enough with these like death metal vocals. It's one of the bands where like the sounds of everything, of all the instrumentation, the guitars are perfect in it, just enough like, it's not metal zone cutting, but it's also not super clean. It's just right where it needs to be for sludge. The drums sound like fucking hell. Like and they're slow, you know, like most of the time they're fucking slow, but it just when they hit, it's just so menacing, and it's such a like perfection of the craft that because they've been around for a few years, they've done quite a few records and stuff, but this one they had so many moments where they kind of do the sludge thing where they kind of hit you and then it kind of wanes and it comes back and then it pushes and stuff, and they reward you so much in each song with something. There's a riff, there's a fast moment, there's a transition that just builds energy and stuff. And like, speaking of how shitty things are right now in the world, carrying that around in my head and listening to that record this week has been kind of essential, so I don't end up in the paper tomorrow. Just every song has like something, and it's something that I've been appreciating more the older I've gotten, is records that work as records. You know what I'm saying? Like, It feels like a cohesive piece of work.
Right.
Especially now where everything's just like, oh, I download the 3 songs that I like from whatever, or like, you know, fucking everybody's doing 12 inches with 3 songs on them because people don't buy 7 inches anymore. So This is a fucking record. This is like 40-ish minutes of like punishing sludge / doom, whatever you want to say, with a little bit of death or whatever, but just like great riffs that are kind of sparsed out to reward you for sticking with the song. It's definitely going on my best of the year list. It just came out. They put it out on their own label on Possession Press. Kenny, one of the members, he does like shirts and stuff. He's got a screen printing business and stuff, and I think it's their first like music release that they've done with that as well. So yeah, Fister, Graceless. I mean, it sounds like it looks, which again I also appreciate. Just fucking like cosmic misery just being pummeled into your face. So yeah, the summer's feel good release.
Honestly, summer 2025, very appropriate release.
Yeah, 2020, a very 2025 record if there ever was one. But yeah, it's out on the Possession Press site. I recommend, if you like anything from like I Hate God to Acid Bath to even like, you know, Monarch, like more slow stuff. They just kind of mastered all of that and condensed it really well.
Nice. It's ugly, right?
Oh yeah. But that's the thing though, like it'll be ugly and it switches from side A to side B and it opens with this like fast moment with like kind of a bright guitar on it and you're like, oh, and then it just pulls you back again and you're like, oh, okay, I know what we're doing here. And it's just fucking fantastic. And it's a genre where like, you know, it's low and slow, so it can get boring super fucking fast. And for a band,
I was going to ask you about that. I'll say it's actually kind of hard to make an engaging record in that style.
Well, that's the thing. What I was talking about, like where they just kind of they give and take enough to create like, and I hate sounding like a fucking nerd, but like dynamic shit in the music, moments where you're going from one thing to another, or where the mood changes, where the sound changes, that like just keeps you interested in the songs. And I mean, I own like 8 Fister shirts because they have so many songs that have like, I have one that says life is short, life is shit, and soon it will be over. And that's the kind of theme lyrically and shit. So like, even I'm like, yeah, life is short, life is shit, and it's soon will be over. And then like, you know, a really great riff will happen. I'll be like, yeah. So it's just, it's a very kind of, it takes me over kind of very completely as a band. I love all their shit. And this is up there with their best stuff.
Wow.
Right on.
Man, I think my last pick is going to be the polar opposite of that. So stay tuned. See what my last pick of the day is. All right. Be a nice, the yin and the yang.
Bookend it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dan, what's your first pick?
Right. So I had a loose concept that I had almost used last time, and then I thought maybe I'll use it this time, and then I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But this was part of the concept of I was just gonna only do bootlegs.
Oh, no, interesting. Okay. You're not going to use it in the future, right? This concept.
No, because I'm already like depleting my options.
I was just interested to see what bootlegs you were thinking of showing.
Okay, well, the first one I'm going to start with. Okay. There might be more bootlegs in my playlist tonight. But,
stay tuned.
This one I'm going to send it out to past guest Jeff Young. And I picked the
nice.
No Core tape.
I have that. I think it's probably the same bootleg. I think
it's got. I think one of my favorite things about it is the insert is. Sorry, I'm having a bit issue with the mirroring.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the tape insert. Like it's. So if you wanted to tape it off the vinyl and create your own inserts and make your own bootleg tape, you could. But
we're not telling you to, but you could.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that it's never been reissued.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's got COC on it. You would think that they would have.
It's got so much mythology behind it too. Like, even just getting into hardcore in the early 90s, you heard about it and you saw it, and somebody had like a tape that was taped off a tape of a tape of it. Like, and it's been around for so long. Like, yeah, that's weird that it's never been redone.
Right.
I mean, one of my favorite things about it, like the COC song "Big Problems" is on it, which is one of my favorite COC songs, but they redid it. That's the song that they did on the Clerks soundtrack.
Whoa!
Like a very non-hardcore version of it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But
I don't know if I knew they were on that soundtrack at all.
Me neither.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was trying to think like, where? Okay.
Wow.
You should take a look at that soundtrack. There's a Jesus Lizard is on there. Like,
that I remember.
It's good, but the weird thing for this comp is like, you would think COC would automatically be the best band. Like, and maybe it's a controversial opinion. I don't know, but I would say No Labels. Which, I mean, it's two people from COC.
Mm-hmm.
But Woody Weatherman on bass instead of guitar, that's different. But at that point, it seems like they had it together better than COC did.
Right.
And then, I mean, and Coldcore has future COC vocalist Eric from Eye for an Eye.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's pretty straight up, just like across the board, all just blazing 80s hardcore. But like every band has their own distinct things that make them stand out. Like No Rock Stars, definitely. Some of it is like real. It's like sounds like early Dr. No, like definitely metallic and like, but kind of gothy and just. And I mean, I'm trying to think. Look at my notes. I feel like that has it's got John McClane, who was in Stillborn Christians, and then Ugly Americans with Simon Bob Sinister, future COC member.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose like how many people were in the early hardcore scene in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Right. Dan, let's remind ourselves who's on the record.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Hold up again. There you go.
Actually, you could probably read the front.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, man.
This mirroring is killing me. Okay.
There you go.
COC, No Rock Stars, Coldcore, No Labels.
Yeah.
I feel like COC is the only band out of them that put other material out.
Great cover.
There was a bootleg of No Labels demo, but I don't know if it was ever released. But I mean, they have, I don't know, like 13 or 14 songs on here plus another demo. It's kind of also kind of insane. Like, I know Story State did a flexi of 2 songs, so
Yes.
hopefully that means there's a discography in the works, because the no label stuff is just so good. It deserves to be like canon, basically.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it is weird how that has never been reissued. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. Eric, what's
All
your
right.
topic?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and teach you to go into the full opposite end of the spectrum here musically. Apologies, but this couldn't be further from the sort of vibe so far. This is a record called 27 Splash. Oh, shit. This is by 27 Splash.
Eric, we got some like audio problems.
Sounds.
Am I like echoing?
No, it's like cuts out when you get a little far away.
Yeah, yes, get close. Maybe get close to the mic, and then also if you can, like, turn down the audio output. Just it's easy. Just go into the settings and then audio, and then like audio output like down, and then that should sort out. Whoa! Here's Daniel with some hot news. Presses. There you go. There you go. Hey, Daniel.
Does my audio sound better now?
Yes.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought. There we go. All right. That's a classic.
Right. Well, this is Culture's 27 Splash. I got into like reggae and dub shit pretty much when I got into punk stuff as a teenager, just because like the starter pack of like the Clash and the Sex Pistols and all that, it goes hand in hand with like reggae and dub shit. This is a fucking great record. It's really like, it's roots reggae. It's really well produced. Beautiful record, beautiful song. All the music is like, what you would expect, nice enough. Lyrically, it's a very heavy record. There's some bullshit on here. There's a lot of like songs about, going against like oppression and individuality, lots of like Rastafarian teachings and stuff like that. But yeah, I've always loved this record. I've always loved the sort of like tie between punk and reggae music. I think sonically it's very different, but like spiritually and like ideologically it's very similar. Very anti-establishment, doing what you want to do, doing what's right type of shit. But this record also has some pretty nice lore to it, if I may. The lead singer, Joe, wrote the name of the album and the song. He was inspired by this guy named Marcus Garvey, who had this whole idea about the 2/7 prophecy, and it was like pulled from the book of Revelation, basically about the apocalypse, like the end of the world, and that day was going to come on a day where there are 2 7s. And so he was on a bus one day and he was thinking about this, and it was in 76, and he thought about July 7th, 1977. So he got 7/7 and then 7/7. He wrote 27 Splash. The record comes out, and it was like a kind of like a local hit. And you can look this up too. It really happened. On July 7th, 1977, Kingston was like a ghost town. It like punctured through into the social consciousness, and people thought like some serious shit was going to go down on July 7, 1977, like an apocalypse almost. So no one went out. Schools were closed. Businesses stayed closed. It was like a real thing. And like it was about this coming apocalypse that was actually here more like celebrated than dreaded. It was actually like approached from a point of like our worldly oppression will end, and it'll like usher us into like a paradise afterlife essentially. But apparently listeners were kind of freaked out by it, and it had like almost like a Y2K effect, or like you remember like the 2012 thing where everyone thought it was going to be the end of days. That kind of came through, which is cool to me, just because again, if you listen to the music, it's so upbeat and so uplifting and happy. But yeah, the lyrics are pretty heavy shit. So 27's Clash. I also thought for the longest time that the Clash named their band after this record, but
I thought so too. Actually, they didn't.
They didn't. I feel like I heard it from like a Don Letts documentary or somewhere at some point. But I did my research yesterday, and they just like Paul Simonon just saw the word Clash in the newspapers at that point in the UK. Shit was so messed up, and he just used that allegedly. But in any event,
I've been telling people for years that that's where the Clash got there.
I know. I'm glad I wasn't alone.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, Mike.
Right.
I'm gonna stick with the fake story on this one.
Yeah, it's better, right? It's better.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I actually discovered that band in a very weird way. It was a 90s straight edge hardcore band, Culture, and at some point, at some point when I like set it up in my computer, I don't know, in the early 2000s or whatever, it downloaded an image and it was like a reggae band, and I was like, what the hell? And then like I looked into it and it's like, oh, okay. And like, oh, both Culture bands are good. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's a stone cold classic, absolutely. All right. I'm gonna stick around in Portland. Same label again, Agipunk, for my next pick. My good friend Jesse Conway talked about this band like last year, I think. He went to see him, liked them, loved them. They had their 12-inch for sale. He picked it up and was like telling me, you got to try and find this 12-inch. It's amazing. Of course, you couldn't find it, but they've just come out with their first LP. Time to get a little bit gothy. It's time for some goth rock from Portland, contemporary. And I love this record. It's Nick's Division.
Oh, yeah.
Nick's Division, Midnight Lights. I haven't heard the 12-inch, so I can't compare. I was talking to Jesse. He was like, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to that in a minute. But, it's got all the sounds. It's got huge Rickenbacker bass, the 80s. This record is so 80s. 80s drums, phasered guitars. It's got all those things. But, what makes this a great record? It's a couple of things. First of all, it's just like poppy as hell. It's like
that one song you sent me, I was like, yeah, this is gonna stay in my brain.
Yeah, it's like you take that out of this band, you take those pop sensibilities and those like catchy hooks and choruses out of this band, and you've kind of got like a run of the mill like contemporary post punk gothic band. There's tons of those around. They've got all the right sounds, but like the songwriting is kind of lacking. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that about these days. So this ain't that. It's like every song is like a hit single in a better world. They're super catchy. It's like made for stadiums, like sing-along choruses. You can dance to it. I don't dance personally, but if I was a dancer, you would find me dancing to this under the strobes and the mirror ball of an evening. I could see myself doing that. And the singer. So really like pushes this one over the edge. She has an amazing voice. I had a cursory glance at the internet and I could already guess what people were saying about her vocals. You can probably guess as well. They were saying, well, Susie Sue, because that's what people always say when they hear like a female gothic singer. I don't think she really sounds like anything like Susie Sue. I was actually thinking more of Julianne Reagan from All About Eve, if anybody remembers that band.
You know what I heard a little bit in that one song you sent me?
Mm-mm.
I have some live recordings of Dolly Mixture.
Okay.
Where they play like a little heavier. And her voice had a lot more depth to it than she did in most of her stuff. That kind of like depthy, kind of like can bend with the kind of almost gothy sounding stuff.
Right. Yeah. And okay, I love All About Eve, but All About Eve have like this folk rock thing going on in some of their songs. Some of the songs are straight up like gothic, like that late 80s, early 90s, like psychedelic, alternative night disco sound. I love All About Eve. I think some of the songs on this record also sound like the non-folk rock All About Eve. You know what? They don't sound anything like Homefront, but they have the ability to like write really catchy hooks with that 80s sound like Homefront do. And they have a saxophone solo too in a song or two, which I know Daniel loves the saxophone.
Yeah.
It's nothing more 80s than a sax solo coming out in the middle of the record. But great band. I'm interested to see where they kind of go next. I think they're onto something. Just super poppy, and I love her voice. You know what? When I was listening to this, I was thinking, man, I would love to hear this woman in a kind of 70s hard rock, like early 80s, like metal band. I think it would be amazing if she sang in a band like that too. She has that kind of voice.
Have you heard Electric Citizen?
I was actually going to use that, yes, as a sort of touchstone. Yeah. Maybe like a little bit like Christian Mistress, a little bit. It's my closest comparison. I just want people to stop throwing out the Susie Sue comparison every time, like a gothic record with a female.
I think it's that inflection with kind of the lower register where it's just Susie, because
it's an easy kind of comparison to make. So Domino Monet is the singer's name, and there's some like people from Alejandro Rivas from Adrenochrome and Crimen and Muerte was in this band. Sorry. And I think the drummer was in Lockheed. Talking about D-Beat, I think the drummer was in Lockheed, D-Beat band from Portland. So they've got the punk pedigree. It's great stuff. Nick's division, not Oi division. Nick's division. There you go. Agipunk. So it should be easy to get.
I'm a little bit torn because you did something newer, and they just did a couple of classics. So I'm torn between doing a new one or a classic.
All right. Hazel said it might be one of her album of the year contenders that I've just been.
I'm gonna go with the classic for my next one.
All right.
I gotta get that record though.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
As soon as you sent me that video, I was like, okay,
It's like cocaine and clove cigarettes, It's like neon and black lace. It's like so 80s, but like
it scratches a part of my brain that just really. Yeah, let's go with the classic.
All right, not new record. Oh.
I forgot to search for this, but I don't think, because I think I've searched for it before.
Did it get talked about when like the reissue came out, like or was it just like it came up in conversation, maybe, right?
I think it's come up in conversation.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd bite the bullet for everybody and just be the guy who shows it. So Charles Bronson's Youth Attack. This thing wrecked my life. Like, just this is my first pressing original when I was a kid.
Wow.
This has lived in 3 different countries with me. This is, I don't know, like for a straight edge, angry, fucking despondent, getting older hardcore kid, the shit they were doing on this record. I love all their stuff. I also love that, like, if you listen to the discography, like it goes from one place to a very different place, and if they'd stayed together, I think they would have done a lot of things. But this thing just blew apart what I thought hardcore and straight edge hardcore could do. It's imminently listenable. I almost never put this on and not listen to the whole thing. It fucking makes me stoked to be angry. It makes me fucking, outraged at the right things and emotional about the right things, and like the whole kind of the thing that capital H hardcore bands kind of took, the friendship and whatever thing, like I feel it so much more in shit like this. This sounds like it was made by people who were going to be lifelong friends. I have that version. I have the weird 10-inch white vinyl version from some metal fest that they did. And of course, if we mention it, we have to do the box set with like all stuff.
That's massive.
It's huge. When I got this, I was like, I get why I paid so much for this.
Is that 4 discs? 3, 4?
there's the poster, which I want to, but part of the shitty record collector in me is like, oh, but then the poster wouldn't be in the box. So there's the compilation, that the other stuff, and the other thing is, like, I looked at this box and I have the discography CD that has everything, and that's this big. So CD, obviously,
right.
A lot easier to move.
Format of choice, and it has like a regular, I think, the regular version of it, and then there's a remaster remix. The cool part is the book, though.
Oh shit!
And this is amazing. The photography alone in it is pretty cool, but just all the lyrics and the flyers and stuff. There's some really cool shots in here of them just kind of practicing and stuff. So yeah, Charles Bronson Youth Attack. If anybody hasn't heard it, which they're watching this, they probably heard it, but it's one of my favorite fucking records of all time. It did a lot for me, like, just as a person. I love it now. I put it on 100 burned CDs and mixtapes for people and shit, and it's a lot of what I still want hardcore to be. Mm-hmm. And like, when I hear that shit in modern bands, I get super stoked. But yeah, it all started with this version, this little.
That's
true. Discos.
Yes. There you go. The all important.
Yeah, I try not to fan out over, like, because somebody from Charles Bronson is on here. I'm like,
which one besides Ebro?
I didn't want to say. I feel bad for not remembering, but it's like, who else is in? Jeff Rice?
Yeah, I think Jeff.
Jeff Rice wasn't in Charles Bronson, though.
There you go. So it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Jordan, let us know who else from Charles Bronson was on there.
I was going to say Jordan's holding out on us.
Yeah, he's sweat. You figure it out.
Because that's the other thing that I've noticed watching the show. People really know, like, John. Yeah. Like, they know, like, oh, this band had that guy, and I'm just like, aside from like a few key people, I tend to like not remember band member names, which I'm terrible with. But
All right, John and Ebro. That's it. Not Jeff. Jeff Rice wasn't. I kind of wish Jeff Rice had been in.
That would have been an interesting to hear.
All right. Dan, what's your second pick?
All right. My second pick slightly ties into this.
All right.
So a few weeks back, I went out to Denver for the Youth Attack showcase. And mainly, like, my main reason for going was for Endless Joy. Because I never saw Cold Sweat. I would email them, like, repeatedly saying, come to Milwaukee. And whoever answered back one time said, next time. And then they broke up on that tour. So never happened. And for some reason, I didn't go to Chicago to see them. And I don't understand why I wouldn't have done that. That seems ridiculous now, because I was in my early 20s, and I'm sure I had nothing better to be doing. And so I'm anxiously awaiting that Endless Joy album on Iron Lung, which 2 songs from it were released this week, and I try not to let myself get hyped up on these things, because I don't want to get let down, but those the 2 songs that came out were everything I hoped for. Because, I mean, it's Cold Sweat with a different bass player. I mean, I guess on recording it's the same guitar player and bass. He's playing guitar and bass, but live it's Ian from White Wards on bass.
Nice.
And live they were everything I'd hoped. Like just exceptional, made it worthwhile. Like going to a fest. So my pick is, and I was very surprised this wasn't on the list. I could not believe it. Is Cold Sweat.
Cold Sweat? Huh? Wow.
Which I got into them when the first album came out because it was like, I think there was a heart attack interview.
Okay.
And you know, that interview was intriguing. Bought the album. It was awesome. And that did not prepare me for this album at all. Because it's just like, I don't know. It just, I don't know. It's just so much better. And the first record's good. It's really good. But like, there was just, I don't know, no way to prepare for this monster of a record. And like, I've realized recently that like it's probably the record in my life that I've listened to the most because like,
wow.
You know, it's over 20 years old and I've been listening to it like crazy consistently over that time. I mean, I had it on CD and then I got the vinyl pressing and then I have been fighting myself to not get the other Iron Lung reissue version because I don't need multiple versions, but
yes you do.
But I do. If I found it cheaply, I'm sure I would buy it.
We all need it, and we're all running out of room.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
There's always room for one more, though, right?
Yes. It's just
Yeah.
You can always squeeze something.
It's just
Yeah, you're like, I'll take the sleeves off, right? Just enough.
But yeah, like it. I remember like ordering it back in the days when like ordering from Dead Alive, and you had to like, if you wanted to order with a credit card, you called them on the phone and gave them your credit card information over the phone, and like
the good old days.
Yeah,
we trusted people differently back then.
Yes.
Seems so weird now, but like I mean, I was in my early 20s. So I didn't have much money for anyone to steal.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember, like, okay, I haven't heard that. Maybe I haven't even heard that record. I'm not sure. But wasn't the thing about that band is that they kind of had a big, like, heavy rock influence mixed with hardcore? Is that right?
Yeah, that's definitely. It's just like, because there's definitely the Black Flag.
Okay.
But it's just like, it's like Black Flag, but the intensity is way higher.
Wow.
But then there's just like straight up like just noise parts. You know, and Jensen's drumming on this record on Blinded, so it's impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the lyrics are just crazy, just so like negative and it's just, there's definitely like some riffing, definitely some
right.
Like they definitely have some 70s rock riffs in there.
What's the thing about that band that was it? Did they take the name like from the Thin Lizzy song Cold Sweat? I think that was added to the sort of mystery of whether they were like had a lot of heavy rock and like.
I actually don't know that.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Oh shit.
It was all a dream. There you go.
Maybe I'm confusing it with
different company.
Sound Idea for sure. I know Sound Idea did that.
Wow.
I definitely remember. Maybe I know I talked to people on the phone trying to get the repos
to people. Nice. I gotta check that out. I remember like it's been 20 years, right? That's crazy. But you said it's been reissued, right, on Iron Lung at some point?
Yeah, Iron Lung did it. I don't even know. It's been a while now. It's been.
Right. Yeah.
It feels like a few years, but it's probably been closer to a decade.
Right.
There's a CD version, right?
Yeah, there's definitely the Manic Ride on CD. I don't know if Iron Lung did CD. It was, I guess, Manic Ride and Parts Unknown.
Okay. Nice. All right, Eric, what's your second pick?
Can you hear me okay? The audio's still good?
I think it's like what I think it might be is if you put the record like directly in front of the microphone on the laptop, that might muffle it.
Makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
that could be it. That could be it. Just a wild guess. I don't know.
I got another oldie,
right.
Kind of another classic here. I guess I'm going chronologically with my shit, so I think
Okay.
I'll just get where as we go. But this is Love Bites by Buzzcocks, an all-time favorite for me since day one. I think I started with singles going steady like most people, and then I got a little bit deeper. And I just think this is their best record. Like, I just think this is their overall best collection of songs for me, even with singles going steady.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like top down, perfect. Like, I just think it's like, I don't like the word. I think this was spoken about in the last episode. Like, pop punk has a very bad connotation with me generally, but this to me is like proto pop punk, I think. It's just like the melodies, the harmonies, the playing is all so good. The song "Love Is Lies" on here, in my mind, is like, I just think it's like brilliant songwriting. The drumming, I think, also is amazing throughout all the Buzzcocks stuff, but I think it's like particularly good here. I love the little fact that like Buzzcocks potentially recorded the first EP on their first record. The song "Tear Me Up" is like a straight up D beat that is like one of the first examples of it, which I think is dope. But yeah, I think it's a great record, a great band that's kind of like, I know everyone loves and kind of knows Buzzcocks, but they're like weirdly underrated to me still, especially with like the conversation of like first wave of punk bands. I kind of feel like they're left out of the conversation a little bit with like Clash, Ramones, Sex Pistols, whatever. And I think they deserve better. Yeah.
There is a little bit of that thing that people think they were like too poppy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's that kind of thing going around. The reason I was looking to my left the whole time is because I recently got the self-titled record. I think it's from like 2000, which is kind of hard to get on vinyl, but that is an amazing, like kind of like comeback record. It kind of blew me away. I can't believe how great it is. I think it's from like 2000. Yeah, incredible. I was trying to find it on the show, I couldn't find it, but yeah.
I think like after the Ramones, that's one of the bands that you hear in more shit in more weird places that like punk that like you don't realize that that's where that comes from, because like the depth of the Buzzcocks, because I too was a singles going steady like convert, and then like the depth of like, because there's so many punk bands that you're like, okay, you can grab the essentials and you're good. The Buzzcocks, it's just there's so much depth to like the kind of songwriting they were doing on different moments and stuff like. But I that's a band that I hear, because I listen to a lot of like melodic punk, pop punk, whatever you want to call it. You hear that band in everywhere.
Yeah. I would say like them and the Undertones probably like the biggest influences on like later like pop punk. I would say, and Ramones, of course.
I feel like for whatever reason in my mind too, it's like similar to how the conversation that like the classic, like the Stones or the Beatles, I'm always like, I would put the Kinks before either of those bands personally. And I feel that way about the Buzzcocks in a lot of ways too. Like I would rate these guys above any of the other classics personally, but
that's
yeah.
I just remember being a teenager in the late 90s and people telling me like, oh, you only need singles going steady. That's the only one you need. And it blows my mind. I don't know if it's just that was the only one they could find. So they tried to, I don't know, create some sort of mythology, but it's insane because you can't go wrong with anything from the original run, which I just recently realized that there was, I think, 2 singles from the original run that aren't on Singles Going Steady.
Oh yeah,
really?
Which I mean, I think
I've heard
there might be a version now or more recently that added them, but I don't know. It just is insane. Like that Singles Going Steady exists with so many amazing songs and none of them are really on the records. And then they're putting out full lengths that are also packed. Like it's, I don't know. Like how does a band do that?
Wow, yeah, awesome.
Great B-sides too, right? Going back to the singles, Going Steady. So. They're still going too, right? Still playing shows, still putting out records.
They're playing here in Chicago this weekend.
For really? Oh wow!
But, I don't have an extra couple $100 to dish out for fucking Buzzcocks. I'd love to if I could, but I'm just, it is what it is.
All right, cast your minds back to round 2, and I was saying, imagine if Domino Monet from Nick's Division sang in a 70s hard rock, early 80s heavy metal band. I was being cheeky because she does sing in a 70s heavy rock band, like stroke early 80s heavy metal band. She didn't. She just joined them. This band already had a record out. She joined them and totally elevated this band to new heights. They put out their second album in February this year on Dying Victims production, one of the good underground heavy metal labels. Check this out. Time Rift and In Flight. Come on, none more budgie than this. It's
I can hear that cover.
I'll move on. The record sounds like the cover looks. That's all you need to. It's
yeah. So
it's funny though, because about 5 years ago, I was really deep into the retro rock boom, and I was kind of buying everything that was coming out 5 to 10 years ago, stuff on Riding Easy Records, and I just burnt myself out on it, and I just kind of stopped buying that kind of stuff. So I'd had enough. Witch Hazel is a band from England. I think they're great. They do that 70s rock kind of Wishbone Ash meets Thin Lizzy kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, this band is they have 1 foot in the 70s, but then 1 foot in the 80s. There's some early 80s heavy metal riffage going on. It's just the perfect blend of 70s hard rock and 80s heavy metal with Domino Monet's from Nick's Division's vocals over the top. So it's pretty much a perfect record. Like I said, it's weird to kind of come back to this after not listening to this kind of stuff for a while because I was burnt out on it. But I'm just trying to sort of I know Electric Citizen is a band that I should get some records by.
There's a new one this year. It's so good. I almost bought it for
You said Electric Citizen?
Electric Citizen, yeah. Citizen.
Yeah, out of Detroit, I believe. They have 4 records. I can't say they're all as good, but they're all good, and this new one is fucking awesome.
But it's funny, I don't know, I only checked out a little bit of the first LP, and it's okay, but her vocals have just elevated this band. And I was wondering, again, it's the same with the Todd Burdett thing in Hellshock. I was thinking how much of a hand has she had in the songwriting in this band? Because it does have that kind of rock and roll feel that Nick's Division, the pop sensibilities, the melodies that make the song stand out. It's not just an exercise in 70s rock rehash. They're all great songs with catchy melodies and catchy choruses. Just makes me wonder how much of a hand does she have in the songwriting, not just joining on vocals kind of thing, Because if she did have a hand in the songwriting on both of these records, she is an amazing songwriter. Absolutely. But, I think this is the first time that the same vocalist has appeared on 2 different records on an episode, I think. And back to back with records out in the same year too, right? That's got to be a first. Rock and roll, man. It's a rock and roll record, riffs, driving down the highway at night. With your buddies, with the windows down, but with that kind of 70s woodsiness to it as well, so, which we all have a bit of rootsiness, a bit of woodsiness. There you go. That's the. It's funny, the vibe is so different to the Nick's Division.
They really are.
Wow, that's certainly a best.
Yeah. Mastered by Brad Boatwright at Audio Siege.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Yeah. If you're like me and have kind of got burnt out with that like 70s like retro rock stuff, give this band a try. They're really, really good. Time Rift. Isn't there a budgie record called In Flight anyway? Maybe not. Or a compilation album called In Flight? I don't know. But,
it sounds like a budgie
right, it totally does. Except this is not a budgie. I don't know if anybody can identify the bird on this cover. I'm not a bird expert, but eagle, maybe.
I know so little about birds that after a certain size, they're all eagles.
Right. Right, man. I've stayed in Portland for my first 3 picks. How about that? That won't happen again. All right, Daniel. What's your next pick?
All right. I'm gonna do my job of defending pop punk, the much maligned pop punk, with a Danish band.
Ooh.
The 20 below for better days. So it's unapologetically 90s influenced pop punk.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. It's a red-tailed hawk. If anybody was wondering, sorry. Thanks, Joe.
Learned something today.
Sorry, Dan.
But yeah, this band, I have everything they've ever done. They're fucking fantastic, and they were at their time. I don't remember what year this came out. This is probably 2012, something like that. So they were big-ish. You know, they did like in. There was that big pop punk fest in like the Philly area, Insubordination Fest. I think they played that. They probably played Punk Rock Raduno in Italy and stuff. And you know, there's some of the kind of the British stuff that was around, that's still around, this like the Satopex and stuff like that. Yeah, they did play Insubordination Fest. But their songwriting is so specific to me, of like walking as a young punk through a city. Nobody captures that feeling to me like these guys do. The melodies on these are incredible. There's some like faster songs that feel like they could just fucking explode into hardcore, like if you just gave them a very slight push. The vocal melody, and these guys were I believe they're kind of in my age group. I'm 44, and like they were already singing about like making mixtapes and fucking playing punk rock just because we could in the 90s and shit, and missing that stuff. And just, I know that like the love songs and the melodic punk and the pop punk gets, you know, thrown into a lot of not so positive bins in the punk rock community. But this band was so consistent. They were so good. This record specifically, it's on YouTube. It's on Bandcamp. Like, I was broke as fuck when they were playing Insubordination Fest. I never got to see them, but they're one of my favorite punk bands ever. I can listen to this record. The reason this record, I wasn't going to pull it for this week, and I accidentally put the CD in one morning when I was like kind of just waiting to start work, and I listened to the whole thing, and then I put it on again, and then I listened to it 4 times in one day.
Wow.
And like, it's in my head just so hard. And there's a song on here, Like a Choke Slam, which is a song about getting dumped, told in metaphors of pro wrestling by a pop punk band. And nothing has ever been so me in my life. Like, who paid you? Who knew me and paid you to do this? It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. I don't think that they get their flowers. A lot of other bands from that era kind of popped off and are more well regarded, maybe because they were Danish. I don't know. But yeah, and I wanted to show, I have another version of it. They did their 2 They did their last 2 records on like a double LP thing. That was really cool. So I believe that one of the versions of this is fairly easily accessible, not super expensive. There's CDs, thank God, that are fucking everywhere and super cheap. If you like, I hear the Buzzcocks in this in a few songs. In they do some like really interesting rhythmic things that, like a chokeslam song, is slow, but it has like a fast riff in it. It's interesting musically. The guitar playing is very interesting. The melodies are. It has a very kind of. I don't know where my geography isn't super good, but I don't know where Denmark is relative to Sweden. But it has some of that kind of melodic sensibility of it. Like Millencolin would be a good kind of point of reference for him. If Millencolin were like grown ass man who knew what the fuck they were doing, it would sound like this. And I love Millencolin, and I love that Millencolin sounds like what they were at the time. But yeah, pop punk that's worth your time. That's got like real emotions and humor in it, and just like kind of a little bit of joy in being punk rock. But yeah, so For Better Days by the 20 Belows.
Nice, man.
And I love that cover too. It's a great picture.
I'm going to check them out and break through the negative connotation I have to the genre. I think that might be my entry point.
Man, if I can get you to just listen to it.
So, you got it.
Actually,
I think it's like one of the submissions recently is to sort of let's highlight, a lot of the great pop punk that has been made like over the years, and like let's get rid of the negative connotations that it sometimes has.
And the opener, like 3 tracks on this, because the first one is like super high energy. Second one is like a song about kind of hating everything that's super upbeat, and then the third one is literally about walking through the streets at night thinking about shit. And emotionally, sonically, it just kind of, it's so seamless and well done. Just as like someone who, I've listened to so much music in my fucking life that like sometimes when they just do it so well, it just fucking grabs me. So that's what this was.
Wow,
nice,
beautiful.
And a good counterweight to the sister record. Put your head through a fucking wall with that one.
All right. All right, Dan, what's your next pick?
You're selling a pop punk record to me in 2025, which is it's not an easy task. But I'm gonna definitely.
I hope it delivers. That's all I can say. But I fucking love that record so much.
All right, I'm gonna head back into my bootlegs theme.
Okay.
I did the thought process and like trying to figure out when I got this record exactly today. And I've had this record since the summer of 2001. And I got it out of the Havoc distro at a house show in Madison. The only show I went to at this house that was directly across the street from the Oscar Mayer plant, which was it was really isolated and weird. But I was there to see DS13.
Okay,
nice.
One of the times I got to see them. But I had read a review in MaximumRocknRoll of the comp, and it sounded amazing. So the theme of MaximumRocknRoll as well, the comp. It's in the comp.
I love it. That's amazing. It's like it has all the songs on it from like.
Yeah, that's just the bands. That's not the song titles.
Right.
37 bands. There's some more known stuff. Like I knew Deadline from the Flexion Head comp. DC Youth Brigade is on there. DYS, MIA. Negative Approach closes it out, but it's Destroy All Bandfuck, which was like obscurity at the time. Like didn't come out for another probably 6 or 7 years on a comp on Tang. I would say the most important thing about this comp for me was that it was introduced me to Koro. Like this is the first place where this is before the Koro 7-inch got got bootlegged, which shout out Sorry State. See if
Proper doing the reissue, the proper reissue, right?
But then, if you think about in the early 2000s, there was that Reagan era hardcore bootleg 7-inch series. All of those bands are on this comp, so I can only assume that it was done by the same people. I mean, let's see here. I got a list written down because it was like Koro, Offenders, The State, The Worst, Neon Christ, Genetic Control, Wide Eye, 5150, which that 5150, Little Miss Succubus, is super underrated. But then, there's some stuff on here like Articles of Faith, like they hadn't been reissued yet, really. But then there's still stuff that's on this comp that's to this day is still pretty obscure. Like, people don't really talk about Belching Penguin.
I love Belching Penguin. There's a discography Belching Penguin CD. It's fucking amazing.
Also, to go back to one of my previous comments, the Belching Penguin LP was the LP that got two of my band members mad at each other on tour.
There you go.
Makes sense. I would get mad at a bandmate and not let it go over that record. like
Fatal Rage is on here, and like that record somehow not. I think I want to say it's Chronic Sick.
Okay.
Like members, possibly it's New Jersey. That record is amazing, but never reissued. Like, yeah, it's top to bottom, just awesome. There's not much for stinkers on it at all, really. And it starts with Hated Youth, and it's the first thing you hear is, "My name is God, fuck you." Like, it's perfect intro to the record. I mean, and it introduced the greater world to Koro. So
yeah.
that alone makes it worthwhile.
I feel like there was a lot made of that bootleg too. You still see it around in Japan. It makes me wonder, like, was it a Japanese bootleg? Because it shows up a lot, like, used in the bins here. But it's probably German, right? Probably more likely.
I've never seen another copy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe it is Japanese, because you see that like a lot used in Japan. So maybe it is a Japanese bootleg. Yeah. All right, Eric.
All right, I'm moving through the years. I'm skipping the 80s, unfortunately. I guess that Buzzcocks is 78, so close enough. But this is from 91. This is Spacemen 3 Recurring. Spacemen 3 has been like a contender for favorite band for a long time for me. They've always floated around in the top 3, but I could have chosen any of their records for this, honestly. This one I just think is kind of like has a pretty interesting story to it. They were like the two main guys, Pete Kemper and Jason Pierce, like hated each other by the time this came about. They were pretty much broken up, but they still wanted to put the album out, so they recorded a separate side with the band, but separately from each other. So it's really like almost a split, and really kind of shows like what each of them were going to go off and do sort of beyond Spacemen 3. The A side is Pete Kemper. He went on to be Sonic Boom, he's called, and it's very like fancy, very upbeat, kind of like, if I were to compare it to like a drug, it would definitely be more like ecstasy. Spacemen was like known as like being the most drugged out band of all time, and not all their music has that vibe. But the A side is definitely more like of an uplifting, and then the B side is all Jason Pierce, who became spiritualized, and it's basically it could pretty much be the first spiritualized record. Very like shimmering guitar, very like orchestral, but a lot more like downtrodden, I would say. A little bit more leaning into the heroin end of things, and like their older material. But Yeah, I just think they're fucking awesome. I don't know what it is, like the repetitiveness of their music, the psychedelic part of it, like the sort of Stooges suicide influence that they take has always just really hit for me. And I just think they're great. I just get lost in this music. There's also a really cool book called Playing Bass with Bands that they're considered. And
Eric, say that again. We couldn't hear that.
How about now? Is that better?
Yep.
Am I too far? So the bass player wrote a book basically just about his time in the band, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's a super good read. He shares some stories that are just like so fucked up, just like truly debaucherous. Like these guys were legitimately into some like dirt back in their day, but they made some amazing music. And yeah, Spacemen 3, I would always rate them very highly.
That's an amazing pick, actually. Like UK band, right? Like that kind of psychedelic kind of like rebirth, like revival in the 90s with like, I mean, Jesus and Mary Chain, you could probably include in that too. And like, yeah.
Real indebted to like Suicide and Velvet Underground, but also some like girl group like bubblegum pop almost too, somehow like mixed into there. I feel like there's like a lot of different influences that pile up, but yeah, I don't know. I know it's not for everyone, I think, but they've just always, for whatever reason, they've always kind of spoken all their records. Something about it.
I had a very interesting friend of mine in the 90s made me a tape that was Man or Astro Man on one side and Spaceman 3 on the other.
That's crazy.
And I was like, man, it kind of made me understand why you do drugs. Like, sort of.
Yeah. Revolution's awesome stuff. It's funny too, because I'm not like, I never partook in anything like that. I wasn't like, laying around listening to this shit all fucked up, but something about it.
Yeah, but like I heard it and I was like, I imagine there's like, especially between those two bands, I was like, if you're kind of not with it, this has got to hit like a book.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I will take a moment too to shout out a much newer band. I think they just have like a song or two on Bandcamp. They're called Popper. Super good. I know a dude who's in the band, and it's like a kind of like an updated take on the Spacemen 3 sound. It's just like drum machine, very psychedelic. A lot of like Alan Vega from Suicide's like woo, that like real echoey woos that it's like really perfectly done style and take on that. So if you're a fan,
yeah. That comment, Dave Parasite, that man is a genius. He's written so many good pop punk songs. He has so many records. It's insane. Yeah, like they're fucking top tier stuff. Yeah.
I'll add them to the list too. I'll be a believer by the end of the day.
Man, I've got a quandary now. I've either got like another like pop punk record, or I've got like a drugs record. Which
come to the dark side.
This is going to be my last pick. I'll do it now. This is the one that was actually I said was like the opposite to like Daniel's Fister pick. Now loud, ugly, obnoxious record that Daniel showed. Fister. This is the exact opposite of that. It's almost silence. This record is almost like silence. It's like super quiet. It's Japanese record. Japanese woman. I found out about this woman because I've been talking a lot about like acid folk and folk singers, women from Japan from the 70s, which kind of got more. People were a lot more interested in that stuff than I thought they were going to be when I was talking about them. And I got a lot of messages and stuff about Yoshiko Sai and Doji Morita. These are all singers from the 70s and 80s. So people were like saying, have you kept up with any of like the contemporary like artists? And I was like, wow, you know what? Not really. So somebody recommended me this woman, and I had heard of it before. She has a new album, and it's incredible. The album again looks like the cover. It's Icho Alba, and this is the ocean down in the Ryukyu Islands in Japan. That's an actual picture of the ocean on the cover there. It's called Luminescent Creatures. It's an album that she wrote after like going down there on the Ryukyu Islands and like diving without like any gear and just like swimming around with like jellyfishes and weird fish and like being hippie, I guess, and like being inspired by the under the ocean and what goes down, like what goes on and what lives under the ocean. And I guess it's an ambient folk record. That's how you would like sum it up, like in 2 words. It's like a mixture of acoustic instruments. She plays the acoustic guitar and then flutes and strings and piano, and then like electronics as well. But it's so mellow and quiet, and she has this voice that's like whispering in your ear like the whole time. It's like shoegaze without the shoes, if that makes any sense. It's like
if you ever make shirts, that has to be your shirt.
Like, forget the shoes, just the gaze. That's all.
Just gaze. Just get rid of all like the noisy guitars and the drums, and just like get rid of they're the shoes that I'm talking about. So like you can just distill it down to this like ambient folk record. She's amazing. It's like it's her 8th album in like 10 years. I really like the second song. It's like coordinates on a map, you know, like 24, 3, 20, blah, blah, north, south, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked it up to see what it is, because you have to, right? There's these coordinates. Where is this place? And it's I think it's the tiniest inhabited island in the Ryukyu Islands, which is in South Japan. That's the coordinates. And that song is a kind of an interpretation of a folk song that is only taught to people who live on the island. And like she spent enough time there for them to like give permission for her to like put this song out into the world. It's pretty amazing, you know.
I was gonna say, was that like cool with them that this version was like recorded at least? That's amazing.
I guess you're spending all this time down there, and just I think it's just really cool, these coordinates. So you've got to look it up, right, like where it is, and just beautiful, man. It's like flotation tank therapy music almost. It's like, which is terrifying to me because I'm claustrophobic and I don't like the dark. But like, if I was a stronger person, I would like to get in a flotation tank and have this record like playing as I do whatever you do in a flotation tank. Nothing, I suppose, is what you do in a flotation tank.
Float and you gaze. That's all you do.
Just gaze, no shoes. Just gaze. But it's funny because I do remember, now I thought about it, she had a record in like from 2021 called Adan no Kaze, which is kind of a precursor to that record. And I didn't buy it when it came out because I was thinking about other things. Because I bought this, I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and like buy that one now. And of course, it's like a fucking $200 record already. It's like, you know, it's only 3 years old, but I hope that she reissues that. This is the only record I've heard of hers. People are kind of saying it's her best album. I believe it. Pretty much every review said it's her best album. But man, if you just want some peace and quiet and just some serenity, some relaxation, absolutely beautiful record from this year. Just came out on her own label as well. Hermine Records. She has her own label. So
Float gaze.
Float gaze. Yes.
Stumbled upon a new genre tonight. I love that.
Yeah, this is a real, like, obviously not a party record. It's a Sunday morning or late night record. Just beautiful, and it does kind of harken back to some of those like 70s singers that I've been talking about, especially Yoshiko Sai. A little bit psychedelic too, you know. And this, when I listen to this, I kind of wish I had listened to more like Brian Eno and stuff, because I'm sure there's a lot of Eno in this record, but that I'm not familiar with. Maybe it's better that I'm not familiar with it. Maybe, I don't know, because I don't know. But it kind of makes me want to go and check out some more like classic, like ambient music that I'm not familiar with, you know. So there you go. Icho Alba, Luminescent Creatures, 2025. There you go.
All right. I'm gonna switch up my order. Just survive with that a little bit.
Okay. You got some float gaze for us?
Well, actually, I was gonna introduce you to Canadian shoegaze,
okay.
but I decided to do that. So this is the record I want to talk about. I believe it's called Tears, Tears. The project is called Spring Summer. It's actually kind of a project for the woman in the picture. Her name is Jennifer Funches.
Daniel, say that again. We were muffled by the beauty of the.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Jennifer Funches, the woman in the cover. She is Spring Summer. She
Okay.
is it's her project. I actually discovered her on this record. This is Patrick Parks' "Come What Will," which is a folk rock, sad boy record that I absolutely love. And there's a song that has this haunting, beautiful female vocal on it. And for years, I kept thinking, I'm gonna grab that CD, see on the back, and find out who she is and see if she's done anything. And I didn't for like 15 years, but I kept wanting to, and eventually I did. And so I found the first Spring Summer record, which only exists on CD, and it's beautiful sad folk, like just incredible sad folk with a very distinctive vocal. And then this came out, I want to say 3 years ago. And I found this maybe last year or the year before, when I was like when I was like, oh, I wonder if the Spring Summer girl ever did anything else. So the thing that made me listen to this record a lot this week was, I think last week on the show, somebody was talking about like a pop record. They were just like beautiful.
Yeah, they got it during COVID. They got it during COVID, I think they said, right? And it was the first show he had gone to after Maddo's picked. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So this record is a pop record. It has stuff in it that sounds like the poppier, the Cure stuff. If you're familiar with Bleached, the band out of LA, they do like really cool kind of alt rock, poppy, alt rock, I'll call it, because it just has so much shit, but it's just rock and roll that has that kind of 90s radio vibe to it a little bit. This has dance songs on it. This has sad songs on it. Obviously, it's pop. There's a bunch of ballads on it. And some like I Don't Ever Want to See You Again. The best I Don't Ever Want to See You Again song. It's called Show Yourself Out. Some fucking banger of a song. So, yeah, this kind of went a little under the radar when it came out 3 years ago because, singer-songwriter makes pop record. It's not, but it's so good. The songcraft is fantastic. You hear influences, but it just kind of enhances how much she owns her own influences. The vocal, I think, Mike, you might actually fucking do some of this because the female vocal on this there's such depth to it. There's such, and like the songs shift her the way she sings depending on what she's doing. If it's like a happy song, a sad song, or whatever. And then it's such a this is like straight folk, dark, kind of almost ambient-y at times, like one of those Will Oldham records type, but just really pretty. And then this is like, I'm gonna go to LA and make a fucking record with producers and band, whatever. So Spring Summer, TEARS. There's a Bandcamp. I believe the label still has copies of it. I couldn't find anything else. She did like another song on her Bandcamp after this record, I believe, but I haven't found much of her, which breaks my heart because everything from that song on the Patrick Park record to the CD to this, like I would follow her to hell with no plan for a return. She can go if she makes a Japanese shoegaze record, I'm buying it. But yeah, her name is Jennifer Funches, incredibly talented musician. The stuff is out there on Bandcamp. Are really worth checking out.
Nice. All right, Dan.
All right, I'm gonna step away from bootlegs and from hardcore, and a little just background of mine. Like I grew up. My dad was like really into like street rod culture, and like he got into like metal fabrication and was like really good at like he had like lowered street rods with like chop tops and stuff like that. So I was always around car culture. So I have like a pretty deep depth of knowledge when it comes to like 50s rock and roll and like 60s rock, and that's always been a huge thing for me, which, and then like getting into punk, and then you hear about like 60s punk.
Yeah.
But I found a comp, and this is another record I've owned for 25 years. I found a comp that I've maintained and re-listened to recently just to make sure I still believe this, but it's not 60s punk, it's 60s hardcore. Because it's like every song is just the most distorted, like blown out 60s garage that you can find, pretty much. So it's the World Ain't Round, It's Square, part of the Teenage Shutdown series on Crypt, which, I mean, it's compiled by Tim Warren, who Crypt Records did all the Back from the Grave comps.
Yeah.
Which, those are all great. But I actually prefer the Teenage Shutdown comps. I think they're, this one especially, it's so raw. Like every song is just like, you know, they talk about people sticking knives in their amps to get them to distort in the 60s, and like,
oh yeah,
this comp makes you believe that. I mean, over the years I've realized that there were some covers of songs from here,
Okay.
which predate the comp. Well, one of them at least, like the Dwarves cover on Horror Stories. Let's see here. Gotta check my notes. Larry and the Blue Notes. They cover their song on Horror Stories, which would have been way before this comp exists. And
okay, gotcha.
You know, these are mega obscurities. Like, I know some of the stuff that was on like Back from the Grave comps were only pressed as acetates and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
What else? The Crunchies on their full length. I don't remember, maybe 2001. They cover Shepherd's Herd from this comp. I can only assume, especially by the time frame, that they must have gotten it from this comp.
Right.
I think there's close to 20 volumes in the Teenage Shutdown series.
Jesus.
We're running out of room.
I think I have about 5 of them, and they're all consistent, all good.
Oh man.
This one though is the top for me. Like, it's,
okay.
The World Ain't Round, It's Square by the Savages. Probably my favorite song from the 60s. It's just got like it's kind of droney. It's got a real darkness to it, and but it's still, I don't know, it's epic and just, I don't know, it just amazing.
All American bands on that one, or is it like a worldwide?
As far as I know, I haven't read the liner notes in a while, but I'm pretty sure it's all American. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you a thing about any of the bands without reading the liner notes.
Right.
Mega obscurities.
That's cool. Whenever I like think about comps like that, for as cool as it is that they're gathered like that, it kind of bums me out to think about how many songs were probably recorded that just are lost now and like won't end up on a comp. I'm just like, I could be crazy thinking about that shit for too long. Like how much great stuff we may never hear. Like, but I'm glad those comps exist for that reason, though. There's so much good shit hidden in there.
Yeah, I mean, the one song on here, Dr. Speck's Optical Illusions, Crypt ended up repressing the single with both, so you get both songs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a must-have. That's really on the list of reasons why Mike is a drain on my list.
There's so many of these like series though, man. It's like and it's like, the thing is that once you get one of them, You've got to get them all right. That's the problem.
Well, if you're a serious collector,
it just seems. I don't know. You can't sleep properly if you only got 4 out of 20, or it's like
all the bloodstains across whatever comps recently came out on CD. That's great. Finally, I can grab a few, and I just cannot. Because I ask people, and they're like, "Yeah, this one, this one, this one." Someone else is like, "Oh no, and I'm like, I can't, as an adult 44-year-old, buy 10 CDs in one go. Like, that's not.
You got to space it out a little bit.
Yugoslavia is a great one. I need to get the Northern Ireland one. But that never shows up for some reason. But,
yeah, me too.
Is there any bad Bloodstains comps? I know there's bad Killed by Death comps.
Yeah, there's a few that aren't, because there's 2 volumes of Belgium, and I feel like volume 2 is kind of it's stretching it a bit.
That's the other fear. Like the first one I put on, I'm gonna be like, eh.
Yeah. You can't know until you get them all and listen to them. So
exactly.
Well, yeah, you've convinced me.
All right, Eric, what's your next pick? What you got?
So this next pick is, I feel like, kind of a nice end for this round. And in fact, Mike, when you were describing your pick, I borderline thought you might show the record that I have here, and I might be way off base with that, but this is a band called Kikoku Moyo. The album is called House in the Tall Grass. They are kind of like a folk psych band. They've been around for a minute, and they actually broke up in 2022. They were together for 10 years, and they're just fucking awesome, dude. They have a sitar player that really rips. The music is beautiful. It's really textured. The vocals are very soft and floaty. It's definitely a light up an incense and throw on some headphones and put the phone away and just kind of flotation tank, a little bit of gaze in there for sure. But then throughout that, there are some pops of some 70s rock, I would say. Actually, speaking of comps, I don't know if you're familiar with the Brown Acid comps, but the early proto metal, almost early Black Sabbath aping.
That's another one that I was trying to think of when we were talking about all these comps. I was like, man, there's the Brown. Yes, that one as well, man.
They're on volume 20 something now. It's wild how many of those there are, but there is a little bit of that in here. But this band is just incredible. I got to see them in Chicago a few years ago, and it was probably one of the best performances I've ever seen. I mean, the crowd was just fully enraptured. They kind of beefed up the songs a little bit and rocked out a little bit more than they do on the record, which is always fun, I think, live to see a band do that. But they're awesome. They have a cool story too. When they started, they were just not super adept at their instruments, and they actually started playing almost sort of krautrock inspired, Kraftwerk inspired shit, because they didn't know enough chords and shit. So they would just play repetitive stuff, and then that just kind of grew, and they built on that over the years with their band. But I highly recommend them. They're a comfort band for me for sure. Definitely a chill out, like you said, a Sunday morning or a late night record. But fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I'm saying that right. They're amazing.
Say the name of the band one more time without.
Kikoku Moyo.
Nice. Yeah.
Maybe that's right. But yeah, they're awesome. They also they started a label. I don't know if it's active still. They put this one out and some of their other ones. It's called Guru Brain. And they have all sorts of really good Japanese psych bands on there that are kind of range from the prettier this stuff to definitely more dirty and gnarly sounding shit. It's all good stuff, but I would recommend checking them out for sure.
Man, it's I know about that band, and it reminds me that there's so much good contemporary Japanese music that is out there, that there's so much going on. I tend to stick to the punk and the hardcore, and I've been stretching out more recently. With the garage punk and bands like Kinoko Hotel and this, that, and the other. But man, there's another band called Hishibure or something like that. They're from Osaka, I think. I'm getting the name wrong. I'm not familiar with them. but they're another kind of psych band. Mono is another band that they've got like a bunch of records out. There's that kind of krautrock band that are Japanese that I think Bill talked about on the show. I'm forgetting their name as well. They're like a Japanese krautrock band. They were in the States last year or 2 years ago. But there's like, my point is, there's so much good contemporary Japanese music. There's so much. It's insane.
Japanese shoegaze, Mike.
Japanese shoegaze. That too. All right. Staying in Japan. Last round. Here we go. These two records are not going to be in my possession for very long because I bought them for a guest who was on last week. And I found out that he loves this band like after the show, and we got talking about him, and he told me that he's been looking for these two records for 25 years. And I found them the next day, like in the morning. But,
do I know this band? Because I think
you're going to be included in this pick. You're going to back me up with this pick because I know you're a big fan. So I thought it was just funny that like he'd said he'd been looking for them for 25 years, and literally the next morning I like found them. Both are 7 inches online. I know, Daniel, you're looking for one of these, I think, or both of them maybe. So you're next in the list.
They pop up again.
Right. Pop punk, or is it pop punk? It's more like melodic hardcore, I want to say. But of course, we're going back to 1995 to 2000, Nagoya, Japan. One of the best bands to ever do the style. Have a cigarette. The Cigarette Man's here.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Cigarette Man. There we go. First 7-inch and the fourth 7-inch. Well, technically the second 7-inch. They had two split 7 inches between these two. One with Discount and one with John Cougar concentration camp. Those are the ones that everyone seems to have. I guess they were released in the States. These were the ones that were released in Japan. First 7-inch on Skippy Records. This one, they're kind of more ramshackle, rough-hewn, like falling apart at the seams, like melodic hardcore, with the two main members singing. Chikako and Hiroaki, a man and a woman. They kind of trade off vocals. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of that, but I think it works amazing. They remind me of Husking Bee, like talking about like
for sure,
right? Talking about like Japanese like melodic hardcore.
They came to the States in the mid-90s. I don't know how much they played, but I saw them with Discount in Florida.
Husking Bee, right?
No.
Cigarette Man.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And it's a core memory. It's a point in my life that I remember all of that night because Discount was one of my favorite fucking bands. And it was the first time I heard Cigarette Man. And they blew me the fuck away. And it was the 90s. So and then I wound up moving to Brazil and then Colombia and whatever. And I've been hunting Cigarette Man stuff on the internet since the 90s. And I have all these like low quality MP3s of their tapes and all that stuff and whatever. They are like so effortlessly melodic.
Yeah.
The fucking singing, it's just, it has this joy to it.
Yeah.
And I would actually say that they're a pop punk band from like their shoddier, their stuff. I think
the second EP is like more pop punk, and then it's only Chikako. I mean, it's called Girl, so she sings all the songs, right? And it's more mid tempo. The first record is faster. Definitely a snuff influence too in the speed of the song.
Yeah, and I believe that first the split was on Snuffy Smile.
Yes, this is on the Girl is on Snuffy Smile too. So yeah.
So yeah, and like I believe it was on Suburban Home out here in the States. There's like thousands of copies flying around, and it's fucking amazing music from Discount and from Cigarette Man. Like they were. You could just hear that there was so much more to them than a lot of the stuff that's coming on around the time. Just
I mean, two split singles, the tape, but no discography, right? No discography.
There's a discography tape. I don't know if it's full, and it was a Japanese release, and it had songs that weren't on other things.
Okay.
Plus, if you look on YouTube, there's a couple Cigarette Man discography videos, and have like different song orders, and I believe one has more songs than the others. I haven't really sat down with them yet, but yeah, I love that band. They were incredible live.
I'm actually like, I will send these, Jeff. I promise. I want to keep them, but I did promise I'm gonna send them to Jeff. They're so good. I mean, it's just like rough hewn, like melodic punk, hardcore pop punk, just amazing. Very short.
That band that you showed to me, I hear a lot of Cigarette Man and Servo, like and that the Crackle Records stuff that came out in the UK at the time. I hear a lot of Cigarette Man and them.
Right. They're on one of those Answer Records double comps too, which has some like nationalist skinhead bands on it as well. I think, but it's a Nagoya area comp, so they put every band on it. You know, so it's one of those Japanese things. They don't care. But amazing band, Cigarette Man. Jeff, these will be on your way to you next week or so.
Congratulations, Jeff.
You've got someone's got to do a proper discography LP of this band. If anyone deserves discography LP,
dude, band. If you, I'll do that on my label like tomorrow. I'll sell stuff from this. I'll sell all the action figures you see here to do that. Like it doesn't matter. I love it.
This is on tape. You promised. There you go. What a great band, man! But that again, listening to this reminds me that there was also a lot of other amazing like Japanese melodic hardcore from the 90s. When I was just all about the hardcore back then. I wasn't listening to this stuff. So, I mean, Snuffy Smile, you know.
Yeah.
Label. But that's my last pick. Daniel, you're a bit pixelated. I think your Wi-Fi is a little...
How are we looking?
You'll be all right. Carry on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For my last pick, so I like fastcore and grind a lot. It just when you guys were saying shit to like listen to and unplug, I don't listen to peaceful stuff to unplug. I listen to like, records with 36 songs on them to unplug, and to me, like Hummingbird of Death, this is their last record.
Hummingbird of Death.
Yeah, this is the greatest fastcore band of all time. Has arguments to be made for one of the greatest American grindcore bands of all time, plus one of the greatest band names of all time. This is this record is a fucking opus. It's fantastic. This record kind of ruined me for like fastcore, grindcore stuff since it came out a couple of years ago, except a band from, I believe, Liverpool.
Okay.
Horse Bastard.
That's a great name.
28 songs
in this episode.
28 songs on this record. This is, I believe, their first LP after some splits, 10 inches, kind of that kind of stuff. Fast bands always have like 86 releases that amount to like 15 minutes of music. But this is a proper fucking LP. Hell yeah, Jeff. You are.
I don't know if he's talking about that or the Snuffy Smile.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, either way, that's really
There you go.
So this is precision fastcore. Like, and it's hilarious, but like they don't take themselves seriously, but they take their music seriously. Like fastcore, when you don't fucking take it seriously, is positively fucking annoying. It's really easy to record it poorly. It's really easy to write it really lazily. This stuff is fantastic. They have incredible fucking song titles. Tropangulus Theranpontalope, reflecting the nonsensical zoanthropic propensity, 3.5 parallelograms. Like, Death. That is the best Hummingbird of Death, but Hummingbird of Death, I fuck with all of their shit. Like, they're fucking the level that to me that the band is like 3 people is insane to me still somehow. But this Horse Bastard record is kind of like, to me, where the Hummingbird of Death stuff, if we're going to take it somewhere else, it needs to go to England. This is incredible. It's fast as fuck. It's hilarious. The songs have personality. There's melody in it somehow. Like, it's fucking... And again, it's hilarious. I don't know what the song Chairwolf is about, but I would love to find out.
Chairwolf.
I can't say enough about this band. They're hilarious. And if you go on their Facebook and you say anything, they respond with horse bastard. Like if you ask a question or whatever, somebody in the band just responds horse bastard. Which I love a good I love a good gimmick. I love a good gimmick. So yeah, this is their self-titled LP, came out last year, was one of my favorite things from last year. Still banging around in my head, fast as fuck, incredible. And it will positively like terrorize your neighbors.
Wow.
If that's a selling point for anyone.
From Liverpool, eh? From Liverpool.
Yeah.
The band the Beatles could have been.
If they'd only written, that reminds me, I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's a meme online of somebody wrote a letter somewhere where they were like, I just went to see like the Liverpool Philharmonic or whatever, some orchestra, and everybody had like music out and shit. But I saw Napalm Death like a week ago, and they didn't have to look at any sheet music, and their songs are way faster.
I've got to say, I do like the name Horse Bastard. It has a certain ring to it.
It's everything about that band is fun to me.
Right.
Awesome.
Dan, what's your last pick? What you got?
All right, last pick. I'm gonna go back to hardcore. Not a bootleg though.
Okay.
It's a legit release. It's what I would call this will be off-putting for some. A mysterious guy hardcore supergroup.
I haven't heard that term in a long time.
Yeah.
It's divisive.
Okay.
But
okay.
The term, I mean, not the band.
Yes. Absolutely.
That it plays into my taste, I would say, because I loved all the 2010 like Youth Attack stuff. Like that was my bread and butter, pretty much. So I'm going with. Don't worry, there's no words on the front. It's Leticia's Skull Drawing. LSD.
All right.
It's two members of Salvation, one from Cult Ritual and one from Diet Coke Heads.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean it's like ties into Matt Adis is the singer from Salvation, and for Leticia's Skull Drawing, he also presently sings in Carnivorous Bells, who their new album just came out, and the album is gonna be one of my top for the year because it's sounds like Saccharine Trust but more intense. Like it's super jazzy, and Carnivorous Bells has the guitar player from Cult Ritual too. But this has got the drummer from Cult Ritual, and I don't know if he was just like holding back in Cult Ritual or what, but like the drumming is like he's like just different time signatures and just like kind of offbeat stuff, and it's not just like straight ahead like hardcore drumming. And the guitar playing is just like it was the guitar sound is so like recorded hot, like it just sounds like so crisp. It's very just has like the Gin noodling, but like sounds like he knows a little bit more like properly than Gin does. So it's like, whereas Greg Ginn will say all the notes that he's playing are intentional. I don't believe that for a second.
Right.
Whereas with this, it does sound believable.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. I don't buy tapes because I just don't listen to them. I own their demo tape and a live tape.
Wow.
Which it's never saw them live. I've seen a couple videos. I don't think they lasted very long. But Iron Lung did the LP. And yeah, if you like your hardcore if you can handle a little artiness to it, little darkness, it's definitely a good record to go with. I don't hear anyone talking about this band ever, and I think this record is one of the best hardcore records of the past 15 years.
Wow.
I love that Salvation record a lot. I saw them when I was living in Miami. They were fucking incredible. I like it. Of all that kind of side of hardcore, like that really spoke to me. So those dudes doing other stuff is really interesting to me.
I saw at the Youth Attack showcase a couple weeks ago. The singer from Salvation sang in Veil 2, and he's still got it. Still awesome front person.
Nice.
I mean, I've seen Carnivorous Bell's live stuff too, and he's as good as he ever was.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, Eric, the last pick of the day. What's it to be? What you got?
So I wanted to pick a newer punk record for my last pick, and it was a very difficult choice because, like, between Negative Charge, Acid Casualty, there was so many, and I was really having a hard time. And then just yesterday, this arrived at my doorstep, and it was like a no-brainer. I've only listened to it one time too because I wanted to wait until I got it. But this is Why Does Paradise Begin in Hell by Haram. This came out maybe like a week ago on Toxic State, which is like one of the best labels going right now. Their shit is just always so good. Every band.
I'm waiting for that record.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got to. It's like I haven't spent enough time with it yet to really like give it a true analysis with like influences and shit. But it's so good. It's like the vocals are good. Like the riffs are good. There's like a little bit of Middle Eastern influence throughout it that almost gives it like more of an upbeat, like a dancey, like a groove to it that is missing, I think, a lot of times from like good hardcore punk records. Mm-hmm. But even just beyond that, like, in my mind, this sums up like everything kind of important to me about like punk music in 2025 in regard to like content and messaging. They're just like so clear on what they're about and what they're against and like what they stand for, and they're like super loud and super proud about it. And not to get all like woo-woo about shit, but it's like a record that reminds me why I like this fucking music so much. It's just like, I think it's really cool that ideologically, I guess you could say, like, I align with all like so many of these punk bands. Like another potential pick for this was that Warbad comp. I don't know if any of you guys saw that, came out. But it has like everyone from like Bootlicker to Chain Whip is on there. Warthog is like a Motorhead cover to close the record out. Wow. It's really fucking good, but it's like a benefit for like Palestinian. And it's just like, to see all these bands that in my mind are like 90% of the best hardcore punk bands going right now are all backing this comp. It just like gives me like such a good feeling about just this genre and this fucking music, Is
that one of the ones that Rachel did? Or is that another different one?
That's a different one.
Okay.
That's a different one. Those are the Dissidents ones, which those are the olive ones. Those are fucking great too. Same sort of thing. And I got the same feeling with those. I was just like, it's so, just like I said, it's so encouraging. I don't know what the right word is for it, but to see like all these bands whose music is just so fucking good, but also backing such a good cause. It's
the opposite of disappointing, which is I'm feeling a lot of like, why is Dave Matthews and fucking, Bob Dylan and like all these people are in the forefront of this shit, and we're the punk community and all the bigger punk bands are not saying shit. That bugs me. Because my favorite band ever is Bad Religion, and they haven't said shit. And
it's
like,
great. Yeah.
Like, you have the fucking pulpit, and you're not going to get blowback because we're punks. Like, why aren't you people saying shit? And the more time passes that, like, bands... So when the comps are coming out, and I'm seeing people fucking do some shit and whatever, like, on my label, like, I put up a fucking insane discount code, and it was Free Palestine, and, like, the people who fucking used it got, like, 60-70% off on shit. So yeah, the more time passes and more punk bands are like touring and fucking doing shit and they're not saying anything, I feel like so for me, that feeling that you're talking about, when I saw that record, I was like, that's just the opposite of being disappointed. This is fucking
100% nailed it. Yeah, couldn't agree more.
There's that too, but there's also has been some situations where like bigger bands have sent something, and you're surprised at the amount of like backlash. That they get. Like High Vis is one that springs to mind immediately. High Vis were very vocal. The amount of like pushback against them, that happens too, which is mind-boggling to me, being a kind of punk band. You know? I guess High Vis.
I just think like, dude, Emma and the Sniffers said some shit like.
Yeah, for real.
As punks, if we could ever all get behind one thing, okay, maybe we don't like all the like pop punk or egg punk or whatever the fuck, and we can't agree between like Marxism and fucking, you know, socialist Democrats or whatever the fuck. But surely on this issue, we can all get behind.
It's funny, Daniel, you see that like older like chair punks will like even be cynical and suspicious of a band like Amon and Sniffers. That they'll say. Which annoys me so much. That's like
100%. And just like again, Dave fucking Matthews, like we gotta try harder as a punk community.
Yeah. There's like, and it is more and more I think happening. But like, I'm now already, and it's fucked up that it's been like years of this. But like looking back now, even like, and I know Sarah from Consensus Madness has been on the show before. Shout out to them, another Chicago band. But their like whole thing is about like the occupation, imperialism, like what's happening in Palestine, all that shit, like from a minute ago now too. You know what I mean? Like I think Mirage, I think they put something out on Roach Leg that had like the insert had a big Free Palestine thing in there. Like I'm with you. I think we're gonna look back someday and be like, what the fuck? Like why
where was he on this? Because
I don't know if anybody like follows like it's a Facebook page, but it's basically the Crass like Facebook page, and it's actually a recurring theme about like why none of these sort of many of the like bigger bands have like been silent on these issues. It's kind of a recurring.
I can't wrap my head around it. One other thing I will say about this band in particular, if you haven't already, they did a album release show recently. Maybe like last week, and it was like an outdoor show in New York City. You got to look at it. It looked so fucking crazy. It looked awesome.
I saw a short video clip of it actually.
Yeah. I don't know if it was like Tompkins Square Park or somewhere different. I know like a lot of New York hardcore or punk bands play like Tompkins Square, whatever. I don't know if it was there, but similar vibe. I was so jealous. I wanted to be there so bad, but it really looked fucking awesome. And I love to see that shit. With these, because I feel in my mind that's what this music's all about. Honestly, like as clear as day, like that's what this shit should be about. Right. And getting fucked up and having fun, but you know what I mean. There's room for all of that, but
yeah, you can do both. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Thanks. Yeah. There you go. Thanks for saying that. It's yeah. I'm with you. I'm looking forward to that record. I have the first album. It's been a while, right? The first album came out how many years ago now?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, right?
La Vida, they like repressed that last LP.
Okay.
And then this one dropped,
La Vida has some fucking really interesting looking stuff like in the pipeline as well.
Yes, they always do. It's incredible. Yeah, no shit.
If there's a label to make you feel a little inadequate about your label,
it's not competition.
It's not punk isn't competition, but
hey, you have one of the best. You have a record in my top 10 this year, so there you go.
Very nice.
It's my top 10 too.
All right, let's wrap it up. We're going to probably carry on chatting a little bit after the show. There will be a show next week. I'm waiting for some cheeky lads to get back to me about whether they're available or not next week, but it will happen. It will happen next week. The week after, I'm off. I've got to go to work on a Saturday. And then the week after that, we're doing another free-for-all with a records you hate. Popular demand. There are going to be some rules about this, so stay tuned for the guidelines.
Please allow CDs.
We'll talk about this.
I have one in mind that
There's going to be some guidelines. Otherwise, it won't work. There has to be some sort of like guidelines. Otherwise, it's just going to be, it could be chaos. But it should be a good. People have been asking for it for a while. So, one night only records you don't like. Right? All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's been a good show, as always. And have a good week, everyone. We'll be back next Friday with a mysterious guy lineup next week. Not sure who's coming on yet. As always, take care of yourselves. Until next time, stay healthy and stay clean.